We're going to smoke some cheese today. You might think, wait, if I put cheese on the smoker, won't it melt? Yeah, it would. That's why we're going to cold smoke it. I have a homemade cold smoker that I put together. I'll show you that here in just a second. We're going to start with, we got a bunch of blocks of cheese. I've got 6 blocks of extra sharp cheddar, 2 of Kojak, 6 of sharp cheddar, and 2 of pepper jack over here. I've tried different things like mozzarella, Swiss. They're okay. They don't come out great, in my opinion. I tend to focus more on the cheddars. So what we're going to do is we're going to cold smoke them, and we're going to keep them in there for a couple hours. Then when we take them out of the cold smoke and vacuum seal them and put them in the fridge, and they're going to be in there for, it's typically I go about 1 week for every hour I smoke. So my current plan is to do 3 hours of smoke, so they'll be in there for at least 3 weeks before I open them back up. It's a process. It takes time, but it turns out really nice at the end, so it's worth it. Off of Facebook Marketplace, I got a broken wine refrigerator for free. Doesn't run. So what I did is I took it and I cut a hole in the top and put in my exhaust up there. I played around with the idea. I'll probably end up putting in a second exhaust just to make sure I'm getting enough draw through there. But for now, this is what I have. And on the side, I did a hole and put a thermometer through there. Mounted it through cork so that it's vacuum, so it's airtight. And then at the bottom, I cut a hole and made access and put a dryer vent piece over here. And it's running over to a terracotta flower pot. Fancy, right? Terracotta flower pot, and underneath that I've got a snake running pellets that are smoking, as you can see. So the smoke, as it heats and the smoke rises, it comes up through the vent and gets up to here, but most of the heat escapes off, so by the time it gets here, it's really just smoke. So you can see we got the smoke chamber going in here, and then it rises up through there and draws out the top. The one tray in here, I'm going to go grab the other tray, put it in here, and let it go for a couple hours. Keep an eye on the pellets, make sure they're smoking, but not too much smoke. I don't want it to just sit there stagnant. So that is the process. Here's terracotta, and there is the snake with the pellets. This is nothing fancy, you know. Like I said, I made it myself. It does what it needs to do. It's not the fanciest thing you're ever going to see. I've played around with different ideas. I've tried it with wood chips. To me, they tend to burn, more straight burn. It's more acrid smoke on the cheese is what it tastes like to me. I see people say the opposite. You know what? If it works for them, it works for them. This has worked better for me to use the pellets. That's the only thing I use pellets for, frankly. So vegetables, I've done fruit, I've done garlic, just a lot of different things that you can do. Anything you want to put a smoke flavor on without cooking it. Butter would work. Haven't tried that, but it's on the list. I paid $10, I think, for the pot. I paid $10 for the dryer venting. The wood was all wood I had here on the property that I made the table out of. Drilled with a hole saw that I already had. So I spent very little on this thing, and it makes good food. So it's worth it. This cheese was on sale for $1.99 for 8 ounces. It's not fancy. It's not expensive. I've tried it with more expensive cheeses. It's okay. I mean, I don't notice a huge difference to me. Some people will take it and crust the cheese with spices. I've tried that. Worked okay. Didn't make that much of a difference for me. Some people also soak it in wine or brandy or something like that and let it basically marinate and then smoke it. I have not attempted that one yet, but it is something that people do. So we have been on, it was right about 3.5 hours. There's some definite browning of the cheese on the outside. It's harder to tell on the orange cheddars. You can tell a little bit of tone on there and on the Kojak as well. So there has been definitely some good impact from the smoke, at least from an appearance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to black vinyl gloves, basically dab them off with paper towels to get off any extra moisture, and then I'm going to vacuum seal them individually and date them and then they're going in the fridge, and I'm not going to look at them for another 3-4 weeks. And the longer it stays, it'll keep forever. So the longer it stays in there, the better it'll be. It has been 3 weeks since we packaged the cheese up. And so I am going to take a cut now. We got 3 different flavors here. We got our Colby Jack, sharp cheddar, and extra sharp cheddar. You can definitely see coloration on there. The smell is amazing, aging nicely, and the smoke has been able to spread around in there. So we're going to start on this end. I have not really ever seen smoke penetration, like visible smoke penetration like a true ring. You do see discoloration on the outside. There's definitely some change of color, particularly noticeable on the cheddars, but the flavor's generally there. So start with the Colby Jack. What you get is kind of a deepening of the cheese flavor. Makes it a little bit richer. It's not like a biting smoke taste, or it shouldn't be. It really is just a nice smooth layer of flavor on there, and this is really nice. Colby Jack I've done in the past and not had huge success with it because it can be kind of a mild, almost bland cheese in and of itself. This has some nice flavor, came through well. That's a good start. And we're going to go to the sharp cheddar. Again, you can see definite color change on the outside. You're not getting any sort of color penetration, but it's smooth, it's mellow. It's in there. It's not a real strong, overpowering flavor. It's just kind of a smooth, mellow feel to it. So this is sort of, I mean, you could do anything with this. You could put it on a charcuterie board, just eat it straight like this, put it on crackers, shred it up, melt it into other things to get that built-in smoke flavor in there. Any of that would work. This has a little bit less smoke to it than I would have expected coming from the Colby Jack. I could tell it more here. This seemed almost made it more mild. And I don't get a lot of smoke flavor, but it's just smooth. So, but yeah, so this is the extra sharp cheddar. Again, it's a nice gentle smoke flavor. It does very nicely. Makes it taste great. I will say the longer you leave it in the package, the more it's going to continue to develop flavor. These are just over 3 weeks. You're supposed to, the theory, the rule of thumb is a week aging for every hour you smoke. So that was about 3 hours of smoke, a little bit over. And so 3 weeks would be the minimum you'd want to go to make sure you're getting a smooth flavor. The longer it stays in there, the flavor is going to continue to develop. So I'm really happy with this. I love the way it turned out. I've got a lot more in the fridge, and I'll be eating it for some time. Should I smoke that? You got to be patient. You want to make sure you set it up properly, and you want to be careful about getting as clean a smoke as you can, but it's totally worth it. So should I smoke that cold smoked cheese? Yes. So for those of you who are wondering about the pepper jack, I can tell you this. After doing it 3 weeks ago and putting it in a box in the outside fridge, I pulled in samples of the other 3, and I kind of forgot I had the 4th one in there until I went to edit the video up and went, oh, wait, there's another flavor. So here it is. Here's our pepper jack. Again, we got some nice color showing on the outside. You can see the smoke color there. All right. As I expected, I've actually done pepper jack before, and it tastes good. It's interesting to me. It kind of seems to mellow the flavor a little bit. I have in my head I should do a batch of hotter cheese, like something like a habanero, scorpion pepper, something like that, to see how that mellows out. The pepper jack, it adds a note of flavor, but it actually smooths out the heat a little bit. Not that pepper jack is flaming hot, but it is obviously pepper cheese, so it is a little bit hot, and the smoke actually smooths it out a little bit. So I'm interested to try that. I'll have to do that with my next batch and get something really hot in there just to compare it and see if it has the same effect. But pepper jack is good. It did mellow out the flavor a little bit of the pepper jack itself, and this one's just as good as the other ones are. So I'm going to package this up and move on.